And we'll see what we get. All right. Morning, Kyle. Hope you're well this morning. We just drop this in the Discord and we'll get focusing here. We have a couple new people here. All right, we had a bunch of new people join us, so good to have you. Welcome to the group. Let's see who we have with us this morning. B Fortune, Bob Burner, Darian, Dinesh. Good morning, Chuck, DVD, Jay, JD, Jerry, Jordal. Got Laura, Mary Jacks. Good morning. Media View, Metal Rettel, Mike, Dresky, Norm, Oscar. Good to have you guys. Sammy, good morning. Steven, Subri. We got Time, Trader Poppy, and Zalos. All right. Quite the crew this morning. Anybody take any good trades? I kind of went over my trades here. On ES, longs off upper band, held pretty nicely. Short on the reentry into value. Small VWAP bounce, very small. Did not take a loser, just a quick scalp for a couple of ticks. And then lower band long. We also had this nice back test of VWAP. So very clean price action so far following the VWAP wave system on ES. Let's see what else we get. Oh yeah, I see that. What's the volume profile look like? We're right at point of control. I could see it going to 12. If you look at the higher time frame, that's value area high in the higher time session. Also, this low volume node. So yeah, I can see it going there for sure. Good call, Bob. ES still looks heavy here. Morning, Sophiane. I think that's how you say it. Sophiane. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're trading the VWAP wave system, seeing what opportunities appear for us today. A couple of good trades so far in ES. Gold is at VWAP and also point of control. So we could either reject or get some scalps here. Looks like oil set its initial bounce low. We're above upper band, so that's looking good for a long. Let's assume this is long. I'll put my arrow here. We'll come back to it. So does ES hold here? Definitely don't want to chase it. Might take a little long here. Back to point of control. Actually, I'm going to move that there. So I'm up 712, guys. 712. Right now we're holding upper band, so I don't see any shorts here, only longs. But we're being capped out by point of control. So good little scalp for a couple ticks, but nothing more. So far we have a balanced day, correct.
So sources say the OPEC Plus meeting today to not make any oil output decisions.
If you look at ES, we are in almost at the middle of yesterday's distribution, okay? So this is, and we are in the VWAP bands. We are point of control on regular trading hours. Looks like we're trying to re-enter the bands on the week. So we could get a balanced trading session. We might get some excess to the downside or the upside. We are due for probably an, I don't know, this could be an anemic bounce. We'll see what happens, guys. I'm not, I'm already up nicely, $700. I had a couple of red days. So, I'm just trying to put some winning days under my belt here. I'm up $700 and, we'll kind of leave that for a little bit. I'll trade my 150K express funded account here from Top One Futures. See if we can get any good opportunities there as well. Morning, D-Bomb. So we'll see what we get. I'm going to cumulative delta is definitely been selling off. It's confirming this downward price movement. So still looking very heavy on ES here. Same thing on NQ.
NATO to ask Germany to provide 7 more brigades for some 40,000 troops for alliance's defence, according to 3 sources. So new NATO targets do not yet reflect provisions for potential drawdown of US troops in Europe, according to sources.
So the gray candles are less than average volume, whereas the red and green are above average volume. So that's good to spot momentum, buying, abnormal buying or selling. It's a really cool feature. I haven't seen it on any other platform but Trade-O-Vate, and I really like it. Some people don't like it. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool. Kind of allows me to see where the buying is kind of anemic. Prices moving up on less than average volume might not confirm the move or give me conviction, right? I haven't seen any real buyers step in. We got a bunch of sellers drop this thing. Really no significant buying has stepped back in here. So after every significant buying event was met immediately by sellers. All right, more downside here. Now, you can see on the delta, not a whole lot of selling yet, but that doesn't mean you can't go lower, but it looks like people are starting to pile in a little bit. Could try and catch a little scalp to the downside here. We got bought up. A little bit of a bear trap. I'll put a stop in here. Probably around 400. Nice. All right. We have a scalp short there. No longs until we reclaim. Yeah, I think a lot of longs got bagged there. All right. We got Matthew, good morning. Long at 59.30. Yeah, just the CVD is looking weak still, right? So we just have still a lot of selling, consistent selling so far, really no buying since, that 939 candle. And it's been, you know, just kind of anemic buying and then selling ever since. So I'm not convinced that buyers have stepped in here yet. I know we're all kind of programmed for longs lately, so we got to be really careful. Kevin, nice, 400 bucks in 3 accounts. That's a good morning. Hey, never hurts to lock yourself out and switch to sim or practice. Kind of let yourself, you know, enjoy the rest of the day. Oxy says, hello, Drysdale. Would you share how is that delta histogram indicator called? So if you, in TradeAvate here, if you go to indicators, it's under volume based and then it's delta histogram. It's under volume based in the indicators. So still very little buying. So we're going to wait. JP, listening in the morning before I fly to Germany. Nice. I'd love to visit Germany. I have cousins in Ulm, ULM, Ulm. If you're familiar, JP. I think that's by Stuttgart. Stuttgart. Oh, nice. I have cousins there. They come and visit us in Florida all the time. All right, more downside as per expected. It was pretty obvious, guys, because of the cumulative delta here, right? Very weak, no real buying stepping in, right? So more downside. It's probably expected. I might try and load up a little bit. Put me at 800. Oxy, are you looking in a prop firm TradeAvate account or a brokerage TradeAvate account? Goes to Frankfurt. Isn't Frankfurt the financial capital, not only of Germany, but probably of Europe, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, buyer stepping in, guys. See that big green candle? But one green candle does not a reversal make. All right, so be careful here. Okay. Yeah, so I have the order flow plus. You have to have the order flow plus. I have it because I have a lifetime. This is a cash account, and I have the lifetime membership. So I know it's included in that. So big wicks so far on that. We'll see if it can continue. I don't like longs yet. I just don't. Does look like it's holding here, though. Might be good for a couple scalps, but I'd be quite careful. I'll take a little long there. Not thrilled with this. Come on. Go. $50 on that one. All right, keeping my wrist tight, guys. I'm not playing around today. I'm not getting stuck in anything.
According to a delegate, OPEC Plus won't revise the current plan for group-wide quotas. China's foreign minister
Abraham says London is the financial capital of Europe.
Free trade agreements with Pacific Island countries, according to a statement.
So we're just kind of flirting down here. Kind of look like a back test of price discovery to the downside, quite frankly. Not a great place to long now that I look at it, but I don't have the bands on here. So one of the problems.
China's foreign minister says China is willing to strengthen cooperation in agricultural and fishery with the Pacific Island countries and expand tourism cooperation.
Russell's going straight down. Look at the Russell chart. So this is a low volume node from yesterday right here, 23 on ES. I just haven't been able to get a good trade on NQ lately, JP. So I switch it around. I don't always trade the same markets all the time. If you've been around a while, I've traded everything from soybean to gold to oil to natural gas. So, you know, I try and go where the market I'm getting the best read on. So I switched to ES yesterday, was able to get some really good trades on it. So I'm back at it this morning. But it's not all that different. You guys should be able to take similar trades on whatever market you want. System stays the same. It looks like a short here. A little scalp off the lower band there to the downside. Got out, took my profits, and ran. Quick $75, and I'm out. Now it's starting to look like a bit of a return to value play, doesn't it? The problem with this return to value play is that we're at point of control and we're at approaching upper band here on the month. So is this a back test before we go lower? Not a great spot, guys, unfortunately. Chuck, come on, don't lie. You don't short. We all know you don't short. Anything to lose money. Matthew, generally, yes. I won't trade news events. I'll let things settle down a little bit. I might take some afterwards. I don't hold it through the news event, and generally not right afterwards, but maybe, 5 to 10 minutes afterwards, I might take a couple of shots. Smaller size, of course, because of the volatility. Human says, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I know that. We're all the best hindsight traders known to man. All right, we're back at point of control here. So a lot of mixed signals here, guys. It's very tough to trade. Obviously, we're bearish so far. We're kind of in between a price discovery short and a return to value. So be very careful here. Could go either direction. Very easy to get caught off sides. I'll be right back.
According to US's Rubio, it's unacceptable for foreign officials to demand that US tech platforms adopt global content moderation policies.
Nobody on YouTube has mentioned how I fixed the audio. Back test the point of control there, guys. Couldn't get through. Return to 26. What is our principle? If we can't get through point of control, where do we go next? The most recent side of value, and here we are. So the trick on the audio is going back to my 13-year-old microphone that just is awesome, my Blue Yeti. I bought this new, beautiful microphone, and all it did was cause me problems. That's all it did. Just goes to show you guys. Big, beautiful. It's a big, beautiful microphone. Big, beautiful distribution right here. Yeah, it does look like that. I don't know, I would agree with you. Looks like we're accepting prices lower. At the same time, we are developing a bit of a distribution here. So we're going to have to materially, I mean, we might just keep expanding it. Right? So we might just keep expanding it to the downside, or we'll chop here for a while and then we'll either leave it one way or the other. So that's kind of how I see it. Yep. 13-year-old Blue Yeti, still doing the job. Thank you, Fritz. Good morning. Nice, good setup there. You had point of control, and so JP took a short. Point of control, lower band, pretty close. Close enough for a 5-point win, 20 ticks. Nice trade. They don't make them like they used to. No, they do not. Put some music on. Fear and greed index. We are at greed. So I have this friend. He's an older guy. He's from Brooklyn and he's retired. I could always tell the greed fear index because he always wants to talk about how well his stocks and crypto are doing when they're doing well. When it's not doing well, he doesn't talk about it at all. He only talks about it when he's making money. So that he's my own personal greed fear indicator in real life. He has over $1 million in Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. I can't hold that stuff, Chuck. No way. I don't have the stomach for it. Yet I love day trading. I'm like a big fan of dividend stocks and just, my investing is so much more conservative than my trading. Real estate and loading up on dividend stocks. All right, back down to IB low here. Sure looks like more downside, but it's just a grind. This is kind of the inverse of what we've had the last couple of days, where we just grind higher or lower. This is literally just the complete opposite as we continue to grind lower. Well, that's interesting, Oxy. I do have a very fast computer. I have a gaming computer. It's very powerful. It's an Alienware. It's very fast. I don't usually notice any issues, but that could very well possibly be it. I don't know. I'm tech savvy, but I'm not that savvy when it comes to audio visual equipment, like microphones and audio and mixers and all that kind of stuff. Downside targets are 59.22. Yep, I like that. I could see 914. Yeah, we're pretty close, Ed. 914 is weekly VWAP. We also have this low from pre-market at 18 and a half. So we'll see. $25.20. Bulls must hold 9-10 lowest, so we start to retrace. Okay. Matthew, I think some of the biggest directional trades are even overnight, unfortunately. Like our nicest trade was this 6 a.m. candle on the hourly. But we've been selling off pretty nice ever since. Let's see if we get a big move here and broke IB low. Move this over here. I got soaked up, didn't it? Some buyers stepping in here. Lower maybe. Morning, Tony. Hope you're doing well for 50-minute orb on ES. This was a nice expansion down to nearly double the range. Yeah, it was. Good morning, Mugendi from Kenya. NQ is horrible. NQ has kind of been trash lately, this grindy action. Not what I come to NQ for. If I need grindy action, I'll go over to ES and grab ticks for better payout per commission for ticks with less fake outs, a lot cleaner. So in low volatility environments, I tend to do better on ES than I do on NQ. In high volatility, I freaking love NQ. It's incredible. But once in volatility dries up, I get much cleaner reads on ES. It's just thicker. It's easier to grab some ticks. I can scalp better. So one big reason I'm trading ES today, as VIX is now below 20. So volatility has been drying up. So I tend to do better on ES in lower volatility conditions, guys. I can size up, I can manage my risk, grab some ticks, and that's it, you know. Whereas NQ, I tend to get faked out a lot. I tend to get caught off sides very easily when I'm scalping in lower volatility conditions. So thank you, Ed. If we do get some crazy volatility back into the market, though, I will be back on NQ. But for the foreseeable future at this point, I'll probably be back on ES for a little bit. All right, sellers stepping in here, guys. We might get some more downside. This might be the acceleration too. This 920 level. I'm watching 14. We're starting to leave the distribution we formed as well down here. So this is starting to look like real price discovery to the downside. How far do we go? That's a great question. We will see, but we're at to be patient. I'm going to look for a VWAP bounce on the weekly VWAP when we get there. If we get there, that's at 14. For a nice scalp, probably hit it with some contracts, a couple of minis. I don't watch it, Matthew, but I do listen to it. It's right up here on Tick Strike. It says tick. So that's the actual tape on the tick, the New York Stock Exchange tick, letting me know if it's positive or negative and how strong. Listen to that. The VIX in reverse. So the VIX is reverse. So when it goes up, it's actually going down. All right. Because I want them all going the same direction. I don't want it to confuse me. Because obviously when the VIX is going up, the market's going down. So I've reversed it. So they're all facing the same direction. Nice, Corey. Well, that worked out. Sometimes things just work out, you know? Metal, that chart is wild. There's so much. quite colorful. Gold. Yeah, gold did not get above VWAP, did it? Okay, back to IB low. A bit of a divergence, yeah. We didn't make new lows on the CVD, whereas we did make lows. Might try and buy this up a little bit. Beautiful. That just took me to about $1,000 in profits, guys. I'm probably going to shut this one down. Let's go.
Mexico's President Sean Baum says, I was invited by
50.
Canada to the G7 meeting, but I'm unsure if I'll attend.
Boom. All right, that locks me out. Can't trade anymore. And then I like to take my money. I'm gonna take $9.79 pay myself for the day. Not bad. Okay. Let's go over to other account here. So we took that back to lower band, sold off right at lower band, guys. Look at that. To the tick. To the tick. Beautiful short, if anybody grabbed that. You had to short into kind of some strong order flow, but the level was there. That was also pretty close to this point of control. 925. Back test. Thank you very much. Let's go over to the set count. So now we're getting a weird read on the cumulative delta now. So now we've made a new low on cumulative delta. This made a new high. So we're getting some serious divergence here. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that at all. Human says, thank God, Mr. Big Beautiful Drysdale for VWAP bands. Could have said Big Beautiful Bald Drysdale, too. Appreciate it, guys. You know, I love trading with you guys. I love helping people discover the beauty of auction market theory and how this all works. Anybody who's willing to listen, I swear it changes how they view price action. Really. Changes everything. I wouldn't read too much into this divergence, guys. For the most part, we are confirming the move down. We don't want to get too sucked into, you know, micro divergences. Easy to do. So we had a nice short, point of control, lower band, another beautiful short, big beautiful short off of lower band to the tick. Playing out nicely. Next stop, weekly VWAP if we get there. It looks like we might be starting to expand this distribution though. So we'll see if we keep downtrending. Fritz asks, is there any difference between Trade-Evade or Zellerman cumulative delta? In case you know, I do not know. I mean, theoretically, cumulative delta should stay the same across platforms, pending they're using the correct type of data. The problem with TradingView, it aggregates data and doesn't use the actual bid versus ask trading data. So the cumulative delta is not entirely accurate. That's just the problem with TradingView. Most of the other platforms should be absolutely fine. So far, the selling is being absorbed on the bid, right? Because there's more selling going on. And it's not really moving price much, right? So that's an absorption on the bid. So there's a lot of passive buyers at this level here. However, you got to be really careful buying what's clearly a downtrend. Same thing as trying to short the top. So if I am going to buy something, I'm usually going to wait for some buying volume to step in, not just blindly get in here. So Moba asks, why ES and not NQ today? I just went over that, but I'll happily do it again for anybody who's new to the stream. So I do really well on NQ in high volatility conditions. I'm a scalper. So on NQ, the higher the volatility, the better I do. I'm able to grab nice moves and scalps on it. As the volatility has been dropping, I've noticed my performance dropping off. And I relate it directly to the volatility drying up. So I actually do better on ES with my scalping in lower volatility conditions. So I made $1,000 scalping ES, just a couple of ticks at a time, using VWAP Wave system for the setup locations and also direction to scalp in, combined with volume and cumulative volume delta. Gives me a pretty good idea of high probability locations to scalp. I do better on ES in low volatility. I do better on NQ in high volatility. So metal, the problem isn't so much the indicator on TradingView, it's how TradingView itself aggregates its data. So no indicator is cumulative volume delta indicator is going to do well on TradingView for that very reason. It's not the indicators itself. As long as there's aggregated delta, there's never going to be accurate levels from it. Okay, real sellers stepping in here. Somebody dropped 500 contracts on ES's head right there. I just don't use TradingView at all for cumulative delta. And don't get me wrong, I love TradingView. I use it. I have the high level membership. I have indicators written on the platform. Yeah, I get it. The fees just get out of control. I mean, they just add up, don't they? So I get it. So Matthew, on ES, I'll go for ticks, not even points. I'll go for like 3 to 4 ticks. But I'll size up too. I have no problem on ES grabbing 3 or 4 minis for quick scalping. And I generally use hard stop losses more often, so I don't get caught off sides. Well, we never got that long on oil. That would have been a loser. Gold can't get above VWAP. So on NQ, they're asking what the bias on NQ is. I mean, we're still at yesterday's essentially distribution. So if we break this level here and continue, I would see more downside, but still I'm neutral right now. We are still in yesterday's distribution. We're at the lower end of this session. So if we can break, let's go over to NQ. If we could break 400, then I'd be bearish, which is also pretty close to the pre-market low. Until then, guys, we're just kind of in we're at yesterday's point of control on NQ as we speak. So coin flip probabilities right here when we are at yesterday's point of control. I feel like I could tell you what the FOMC minutes are going to be. If you listen to these Fed speakers, they pretty much give it all away anyway. I listen to them on the Squawk Box behind me, and you know, they all say the same stuff. Tariffs this, uncertainty that, don't do any changes, no rate cuts, we're afraid of inflation, data dependent. Yes, continues to bleed out here, guys. We're getting closer to that 14 mark that I like. Transitory. Yeah, we are waiting. Exactly. Same story, different day. Talk about non-committal. Been listening to this shit for years. Getting closer to that weekly VWAP. 4 more points. I'm going long. All the markets are red. Russell down the most. Dow and ES both down 0.25%. NQ barely red. So I hit 1K profits in my cash account. Now I'm just waiting for a good trade that I'm going to take in my top one futures, instant funded, 150K. No trades yet in this. The temptation is to go long here, but I would like to see a bit of a stop run here maybe for all the pre-market. It sure as hell does look bearish. Not looking for a big move on this, guys. Just a nice scalp. ONL. Overnight low. Got it. We're already below overnight low on ES. Ready. Drop it. Ready to hit the buy button. Patient like a sniper. So NQ hasn't really left this distribution yet. Everything so far has just been a little bit of excess. Nailed that long right there. 500 bucks. Had a bunch of orders down here at weekly VWAP. Buyers rushed in and joined the party. Quick scalp, 500 bucks. Back to lower band. No break of structure yet, though. Really, not yet. Mr. Trade Nick, have you ever had any problems with payouts from top one futures? I have not, because I just started with top one futures, so I have not gotten a payout yet. I've gotten payouts from Top Step and Apex, the only two firms I've ever traded with. But I do have some really close trader friends who are trading with Top One, who have gotten plenty of payouts. So I fully trust their ability to pay out currently. If that changes, I will certainly let anybody know. I think the big issue people have taken with Top One is the rule changes, not so much their ability to pay out. But the rule changes are so they can ensure payouts. So it is a business. Get it. Oh man, that Kyle, that is messed up, man. So I was a big Apex trader. I was a 5-figure payout trader. I got $20,000 payouts with Apex. When they dropped all those new rules last year, I never traded them again. I never bought another evaluation. So yeah, they can kiss it. I still think Top One's rules are better than Apex's rules. That 30% drawdown of your profits is bullshit. That is completely unacceptable in my opinion. That's a good question, Matthew. I don't know. Matthew's asking if you don't pass the first month, doesn't the discount still apply, or do you need to pay full price? I'm assuming it would still apply. Yeah, it still applies, Matthew. And that 30%, I think it's absurd. You go down, draw down by 31% on these already small, drawdowns. That's fucking crazy. That's like handcuffs, in my opinion. Like, you can't make the smallest mistake. So we're back at point of control right here and lower band. I wouldn't short here again, though. I would expect a bigger pullback at this point. But you never know. Nice, Kyle. I mean, if you can work within their rules, that's great. But, for the most part, I trade a cash account. That's where I make my money, and I get better tax treatment trading in a cash account. I do like trading prop firms. I think it's nice. Once I'm done in my cash account, I love switching over to a prop firm, make some extra money. I'm cool with that. But it is not my main source of income. My main source of income is trading a cash account. And come tax time, it is much better tax-wise too. at least for American citizens. I don't know about anybody else. I'm talking for US citizens. So I can consistently make on a $10,000 account, Kyle, $500 a day. So that's, that's a six-figure income with a $10,000 account.
The effect of the tariff rate being absorbed by Canada.
When I add more, I could do 1,000. If I put $30,000 or $40,000 in that account, I can usually do $1,000 to $2,000 a day comfortably. But the psychology of it is no joke. Even after the years I've been doing it, like after like a green streak, it's like I'm so susceptible to a red streak after that. I go from winning every day for like a month or two to a string of losing days. It's crazy. Matthew, I try not to trade more than a few hours a day. Generally 9:30 to 12. Yeah, point of control, 925. I mean, as we continue to flesh out this distribution down here, that was the short though. Look at that, right back at point of control. So they're loading up their shorts on all these pullbacks. Crazy. Yeah. I need a couch to go lay on. Oh, don't get me wrong. I do have a therapist. 100%. Trading is akin to a high level sport or performance activity. Some of the top athletes and performers, they work with therapists for the psychology aspect of their chosen field. It's not uncommon. Golfers is a big one. Many professional golfers seek therapists to help them control the mind game that comes behind high pressure golf tournaments.
Russia's Foreign Minister Lavrov says that Germany is being drawn directly into the Ukraine war.
JP, what also helps on that is account guardrails to shut you down and lock you out before that happens. Nice, Tony.
OPEC reaffirms the level of overall crude oil production for OPEC and non-OPEC participating countries in the document as agreed in the 38th.
So Felix asks, how much do you generally risk per trade and how much do you manage risk? How do you manage risk when scalping for a few ticks? So this all happens on the DOM, right? So when I'm scalping, yes, I'm living on the DOM right here, right? So I'm placing my fill orders on the bid, getting out on the ask, or vice versa, and placing my stops right below it, and just working the bid and the offer, essentially. And it's about 1-to-1 most of the time, maybe like 1.5 risk to reward.
To develop a mechanism to assess participation.
Sometimes the losers are a little bit bigger than the winners, but the winning rate's so much higher because I'm leaning into the short-term order flow. So
OPEC says it is to closely review the global oil market conditions.
I did take a couple of trades here on stream. You can go back and review it, Felix, and you can see how I do it.
OPEC Plus to meet next on November the 30th.
The commissions are, oh, this is the, that's not the account. This is the sim account now.
OPEC Plus are to discuss the July output hike in a separate meeting on May 31st. Again, OPEC Plus discussing July.
Dinesh, I use both. It's not one or the other.
31st.
Now, if you made me pick, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick cumulative volume delta. However, what's nice about tick strike is it alerts me to some, like in a slow market like this, tick strike is really nice because I'm not sitting here focused watching every candle grind up and down. I'm waiting for some action to enter the market. So tick strike will let me know when that happens. I'll hear it. It'll draw my attention and I'll be like, okay, what are we doing, right? Let's get in, let's do some stuff, And until then, I just kind of wait. I don't want to trade this, grind. It's so easy for me to get chopped out. I need some volume to push this price in my direction for a scalp. Oxy says, and you take out the profit of the day from account, you don't leave it in to grow it. No, I don't leave it in. I don't have to, Oxy. I have quite a bit of cash. I don't need it all sitting in my brokerage account. I have lots of money elsewhere. If I wanted to put it into my brokerage account, I could. But this is how I manage risk. I have much larger accounts for investing and I trade credit spreads on options. I do a lot of other different stuff that I don't really talk about in this community because I want to keep it focused on one thing. It's a huge safety measure, Oxy. Huge. Because when that money's in your account, you can easily lose it. You can't lose money that's not in your account. So I take it out, lock in those profits. Is it, David? I'm not a musician. I have friends that are musicians. They always seem like they're just in the zone. Just, they could do it with their eyes closed. All right, those of you on YouTube, thanks for joining us today. I'm going to wrap it up there. For those of you in the Discord, we're going to keep on trading, see if we get any direction out of this, maybe a return to value or some more downside. I hope everybody on YouTube, you're going to keep trading, manage your risk, stay sharp. If you want to join us in the Discord, there's a week-long free trial. There's a link for that in the description of this video. Come join us for a week, see if you like it. We do a lot else aside from the live streaming. We're always talking about discussions. We have live group coaching. We have Q&A sessions. We have a main chat exclusive to members. So if you guys want to join us for a week, completely free. Hope to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow, YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you in the Discord,